So in this past year, I mean, can you give me any semblance of hope that society might be slowly getting better?
I love that we don't prepare. That's very exciting to me.
For this
but the
show?
one, I know.
Why?
I know, but that's it. That's beautiful.
Not with you and I, anyway.
No.
No.
But there was one topic I really wanted to talk about. That's probably been the ongoing theme. Like when I thought, well, what's happened since I last saw him one-on-one?
Yeah.
And it's like creative wellness. And we'll dig into this more. Mm-hmm. Trying to think, how do I start this? The Age of Aquarius. They sung about it in the 60s.
Yeah.
We're in it now. This is supposed to be about the time of healing.
Okay.
This is supposed to be about the time of awakening, and all these terrible stories, that were told on the news about the pandemic.
Right.
Because I go into the world in the manner I which I go into and try to get to know people deeply on a daily basis, even if I have them for 5 minutes, I'm not hearing those stories, man. Like I'm hearing beautiful stories of rediscovering themselves, of changing careers, of valuing their time, their own time and their time with other people, and the one arcing theme is this creative wellness piece. So it's healing through the arts. I had an experience, a friend of mine and I went to the Symphony Lights On. Whenever they did that before the symphony, it was like their prelude. And it was cool because he talked about like, you all grew up with classical music like Bugs Bunny. And I was like, ooh, that's Flight of the Valkyries, man. Kill the Wabbit is Wagner. But I cried, man. And symphonies, things like that, a lot of that, it really touches me. You know what I mean? Like it affects me deeply. And I've had the idea of like, to me, those are the modern prophets. The creatives are the modern prophets. Whatever you believe in. If you look at the old books, the big black book or whatever, Gideon's Bible, all the Bibles, like there's stories of God's approach to humans evolving, changing, switching up. And it's like, we don't have any prophets anymore. Like what happened? We had the last guy, 2,000 plus years ago. To me, it's the creatives. It's things like this, and this is a creative venture. It's the songwriters. It's the people that make movies, write novels, poetry. Like, what is creativity? Creativity is an awakening. It is open your eyes. It's, I'm going to, you hear a song at the right time, and it's just like, it's everything. It's your whole world, Yeah. And, the creatives do that to heal themselves. And then hopefully somebody said the other day, a musician said the other day, to be of service. And I was like, wow, like he said it.
That's interesting.
He like said it. And I was like, damn, like that's intense. Cause I'm like, to heal ourselves and then hopefully heal others, when you can go on. And he was like, yeah, to be of service. I'm like, wow. Because we talked about this. If you asked me to mean life before I got sober 9 years ago, I'd have given you a self-centered answer. Today, we're here to help each other, period. That's it. How can we do that on a daily basis? So there's things like art therapy and music therapy now. But what I'm personally trying to push and what has been the last year is the discussion by the creatives, a very, very open discussion about creative wellness, about the healing that comes from the arts.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's talked about that much. Like the creatives know.
Okay.
And people that are in tune with that are affected by a symphony or a song. And I don't think even everybody fully understands it. We feel it. And we're like, okay, that hole in my chest feels better now. I feel like that was, you've heard people say, oh, that was a message from my mother, grandfather. You know what I mean? Like that song at that time. So I don't think the large population of the people understand that is a healing sort of thing. And to me, one of my driving forces right now is to like really, really, really begin this discussion by the creatives outwardly to say this is what we're doing and this is why
when you say with creatives, you're including artists in regards to that?
Creative has been the new, like the thing, because artists can be limiting. Artists are like, they think about that painting or something like that. And then if you say musician, then you just think music.
Right.
Creatives is poets, you know what I mean? Poets, painters, photographers.
What about people that create businesses? Create. Is that too much of a stretch? Is that?
I think for the no, it's one of my things is to get people to realize they're creative. Like when I had my gallery back in 2009 in the Factory Artist's first incarnation, I saw the therapeutic value of creativity.
Okay.
You know, this gallery was open all the time, had musicians. I mean, Robin Fernandez was like, I like what you're doing. Here's my vision. My vision, his vision matched up.
Right.
It was like, let's just be open. And so there was dance and there was music and there was art and there was all those things. And I started these like social experiments where somebody would walk in and I'd be like, hey, what's your art? Oh, I'm not an artist. Well, what's your story?
That's interesting.
Oh, I don't have a story. Everybody's got a story. And through their story, I'd try to pull out, this is the way you're creative.
Okay.
You know, and then I'd do this one. I do both. Not that one as much. This one still today. I'll ask people, who's the greatest? I used to say artist until this week, creative of all time. And they're like, I'm like, it's a stream of consciousness, thought experiment. You already have 5 names in your head, you know, and they pink to Picasso, you know, pink. I didn't even mean to say pink. I meant to say Prince, but whatever. Prince
Pink,
to Picasso.
Prince.
Yeah. And then doesn't matter. It's a trick question. Now
Right.
everybody knows the trick question. But then I'll say, hey, you ever see a sunset that takes your breath away? You know, the Cherry Blossom Festival in D.C. Sit in Death Valley under a new moon.
Right.
Whatever created all of this, in either camp, if you're an atheist scientist and you believe the Big Bang created everything and we have stardust in our genes, which we do, or you believe in multiple gods or a monotheistic God and we're made in the image of that, whatever created everything is the greatest artist of all time or creative. And so that's in us. So it's just about drawing that out.
Okay.
You know, even the work I did in rehabs, I started a writing program and I'd have a 60-year-old housewife alcoholic and she'd be like, I can't write. Everybody can write.
Certainly.
And she would write these unbelievable things. So that's like a big thing for me ever since 2009 is like trying to pull creativity out. Okay. So yeah, I change it from artist to just creative.
Because I think people, it's such a convoluted
And I
term.
didn't even answer your question.
No, it's such a convoluted term though. Let's go there. I mean, and I think that our current social media platforms kind of screw that up a little bit because now all these companies are marketing to creatives, so to speak. And I love the idea of people feeling that they could be or can be a creative person, but I think the definition now has been kind of bastardized.
Yeah. Yeah.
To a degree.
I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, that's hard. But yeah, creating business is actually absolutely creative. I tell people raising kids is creative. Now, when I'm talking about the creative wellness, I'm more talking about the people that I saw this great book that I never read in that Penguin Bookshop in Sewickley once. It was called The Fringe. And it talks about how the fringe of society pushes real social change. You know, we have that core democracy. But it's the fringe, and they describe like the artists.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The musicians, the writers. I mean, a lot of what I've been talking about, we do a lot of jazz at the place at King Fly Spirits. There's your plug.
There you go.
And one of the things I've been talking about a lot, man, like I got to go and see real jazz when I was a kid. My dad was a big jazz fan. So like I was at proper jazz clubs.
Right on.
When did jazz become a golf clap?
Wait, what?
Like a golf clap. This is what we do to jazz now.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, when?
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Like a listening room jazz where it's like, yeah, man.
That's
and
interesting.
not everywhere.
That's interesting.
But to me, it was, I mean, look what jazz was. Jazz was an awakening. And more so, jazz was bringing together all cultures. I mean, why was the FBI after Billie Holiday? Because it was an awakening. It was waking people up. And it was bringing people together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's that. I always say we whitewash jazz. You know?
I think that's a pretty accurate statement.
Yeah. There's